So this session, I want to be an interactive session. So let's plan our question answers. So the first thing, anything will be, sorry, yeah. So let's prepare the question answers. What platform SAP Ariba? So interview question come. What is the platform being used for available? SAP Ariba is available on what platform? Any guess or any answers? You can even type in your chat also if you know answer.
Cloud.
Good question. Yeah. There is one platform it is called, or a service it is called. What is that service? It's called SaaS platform, which is nothing but software as a service. That means, so in cloud, you are having multiple choices. You can build your own application over the cloud and you can utilize also. Procurement solution also something you can build on cloud and then you can utilize it. Whereas in SaaS platform, the software application is maintained by Ariba. Is maintained by Ariba. And that is the reason you are going to use Ariba's application and Ariba is providing you this as a service. They are not giving you as a product itself. They are not going to give you ownership for SAP Ariba products. So if it is an ECC, when you are installing, you will get full rights. You can able to manage your application on your own. That is being an on-premise solution. You have all this functionality. Whereas SaaS platform, the application code and everything will be maintained by Ariba. So is it available for a on-premise? What would be the answer? Maybe I will just put it in this way. Is it currently available? I'm referring to SAP Ariba. Can we install Ariba on an on-premise solution? What would be the answer?
No, I think.
Right. So SAP, once SAP has acquired it, it is only a cloud solution. It is not possible to implement on Ariba solution. So when SAP has acquired, maybe these questions may not become, but in general discussions, if anything is there on SAP side, you can get this one. So 2012 onwards, you are getting SAP has acquired it. SAP has acquired it in. So let's go to the sourcing module. Meanwhile, during the discussion, if you have any clarity or if you have any doubts, please feel ask. Okay. During sourcing module, I am asking how many type of events which we are having in sourcing. What are the types of events which we are having?
Types.
Which one? RFI, RFP, auction. Okay. So how many different types of auctions we have?
2 types of auction.
Good question. So what are all those?
Reverse and forward.
Correct. So different formats of auction.
Online, offline.
No, not that. So format. So the bidding process will be different for this auction, one auction to another auction. One is English auction,
Dutch.
Japanese. Generally, by default, it is called in English. We will not specify that as an English auction. The other two will be Dutch and Japanese auction. So maybe once this question has come means, then they might ask you to explain on Dutch auction and Japanese auction. Then you need to say that in Dutch auction, the supplier I always get confused with these two. So Japanese auction, the supplier need to, okay, in Dutch auction, the price will keep on increases. Then once the supplier accept the price, automatically the event will close. When it comes to Japanese auction, I think you can revisit this. I am getting confused with these two. So in another action, what will happen is the price will keep on reduces and you need to accept proposal at each stage. If you stop to accept the proposal, then you will be dropped from the event process and the next round you are not eligible. So that is a format in one and one format in Dutch. Okay. Sourcing. Can we use envelopes bidding? Do you know, can we use envelope bidding? The answer should be yes, need to be maintained at template level. So whatever the rules when it is coming to here, yes, can we use envelope bidding? Yes, we can do that, but we need to enable this in template, then the end user can use this option. So during that time, they might also ask you what are all the options. If you are maintaining in template, can the user can modify it or not? So then you need to say that if you click delegate, then end user will able to modify it. If it is read only, you will decide the option and he can only see, and the third option is hidden. So this needs to be remembered in your process when you are explaining on the sourcing side. Then you may tell that yes, in template level we can configure the rules. That is called rules configuration. What are all the rules? We have timing rules, bidding rules, supplier information, that is market feedback. Then what else we have? So you can revisit that folder and when you are doing a template level, make sure and you remember what is at the broad level that rules are there. Again, this will be a basic when a supplier is taking you with 1 or 2 years of experience. These kind of questions will be asked. When you are an experienced person, these questions will not be asked. They will directly following on your CV. Then that they will ask you. That is also I will give you. So these questions will be very basic questions which they are expected that you are aware of. Even suppose if you do not know something, okay, whatever you remember, you can tell and you can also say, okay, now I do not have on a hands-on. So once I go to the system, then I know where to configure and how to configure. I am not remembering exactly. So to my knowledge, I am having timing rule, bidding rule, market feedback. So whatever you know, that you need to present it. Now, can I add new supplier in sourcing? Then answer would be yes. You can create a new supplier in sourcing. Also, you can add an additional information. You can also add new participant to the event. So what is new participant and new supplier? The supplier itself is not in your supplier master. You want to interact with a new supplier, then that option is yes. You already have a supplier, but whom you are sending this RFP is not maintained or that supplier contact is not available. In that scenario, you're going to add a new participant, then you will be selecting the supplier and you are adding the email address of the contact, and then you are going to invite that supplier contact into the RFP proposal. Who will help supplier if he having issues with his account? Can you tell me who will be helping? Suppose your supplier is having some issue. He is unable to respond and he is not seeing RFP or something. So who will be responsible?
Admin.
Sorry?
Admin team.
No. is SAP itself has to be support. They need to reach out to SAP by using the supplier, SAP's provided call center number or email support or anything. Then they will get support. Okay. Not all the support. Suppose he's saying, hey, I'm not seeing RFP. Can you check? In that case, you need to go to your RFP and open it. Make to sure that the supplier is added in that. Maybe sometime we think that, for example, I want to add, I'm having a call Sun Pharma. So that is the supplier. I want to add it. When I'm searching for Sun, the results have come. Then I added Sun Network into my RFP. Then I am asking Sun Pharma. I'm calling him. Hey, why you are not responding? Then he says, I have not received my RFP. Then you need to verify your RFP. Make sure that your Sun Pharma has been added as a supplier. This is a normally clerical what is called administrative errors which we come across in real time. So we have not added the supplier into the sourcing, but the supplier is we are following with the supplier. In such scenarios, open it and see. So that is one scenario. And second scenario, the RFP is in what is called preview period, or which is waiting for an approval. Even during preview period, sometimes the supplier will not able to see unless you allow. Do you want to allow preview period enabled? Maybe not. That is not the correct one. Suppose if it is an approval, only after approval your RFP will be activated. Then supplier will not see this in his responses. So these things you can handle as an admin. You can able to handle, but any other issues, suppose he is having, it is saying that, hey, you cannot log in, or your account is locked, or you are expiring your subscription. For example, he want to test for an enterprise account where he need to pay fees. He did not pay the fees. Then his account is locked. Or he want to downgrade to standard account. He don't want to use Ariba enterprise account to pay the fees. He want to, all these things he need to contact SAP only. We are not going to help. We can only check related to our documentation only, RFP or whatever we are communicating. Make sure from Ariba buying side is clear, but from the supplier side, if he is having any issues, then he need to contact SAP only to get the support. Now, then they will also ask you what is consultant role. Then you can give n number of issues. Okay, you can say that templates are managed by consultants. Any support or admin, what you mentioned is correct. Admin related help we are only providing, and we are also consultants are helping user trainings, testing new developments or enhancements. So it is not only that consultant role. As a user role, end user role, we are also providing them a training how to perform activities or how to access Ariba application. All these things will be done by consultant roles. Is it clear? Any doubts so far? So at RFP level we covered, then we are going to the contracts. Then the interesting thing they might ask you, majority they will ask you, what are all the hierarchical types supported in contracts? Can someone give what are the hierarchical types in contract? Nobody, wrong answer also, give it try.
Quantity contract.
Quantity contract, okay. Then
Value.
Value contract. This is good, but this is not I was expecting. So I was expecting some other answer. Like you can create a standalone contract, and there are two other type of contracts. Okay. So this answer also you can give. So you can say that we can create quantity contract or value contract. Again, this is very relevant for your SAP system only. In Ariba, we do not have any differences between quantity contract or value contract. It does not make any sense in Ariba. When it comes to SAP Ariba, the hierarchical types here, master agreement, sub-agreement, standalone agreement. So here, whenever you are selecting a sub-agreement, the system will ask you to enter your master agreement. Only that is the difference you can say in the user level. So other than that, if you are creating master, it will not ask anything when you create, but you are able to create sub-agreements against master agreement. But when you are creating a sub-agreement, it will ask for a master agreement. Standalone, without any dependency on these two, you can directly create a contract in Ariba. What is contract compliance? Any guess? What is contract compliance? Basically, it is sending your contract to downstream. That is called contract compliance. How do you do the contract compliance? You go to the contract workspace, open documents, and add contract terms. Once you add contract terms, then the compliance will start. Contract terms will go to the downstream once it is published. Even if you want to modify any of the changes to the contract terms, you need to have to open a contract workspace, go to the document, then click on that contract terms document. It is not possible to directly add a contract terms outside of this contract workspace and create. It is not possible. And this is again when you have a suite integrated. So suite integrated environment, then this is the process. If there is no way you can create. Suppose you are not having a suite integrated, you can create this contract term in your downstream itself without any necessary in upstream. You can directly create in downstream. Okay. Now, do you know what is desktop file sync? Then you can say that before 2017 or 2018, desktop file sync was there, but now that is vanished. Now what you are having is a ECA, Enhanced Contract Authoring. Prior to this, okay, maybe this is a ruled out question. Maybe some whenever you can see what it is when you are having a desktop file sync, you have to use Internet Explorer only. It is not possible to access Ariba application in Chrome or any other application if you want to sync your data from your computer to Ariba. So when you are opening a contract workspace where you want to upload a document, then the sync will happen through a DFS using Internet Explorer only, and you also need to have what is called extension. With that, all possible is with this extension only you will able to, that VBA extension or something need to be plugin need to be there. Then only you can do this desktop file sync. Now it is no more required because everyone, the Internet Explorer is already what I call sundown or something. Internet Explorer is no more supported by Microsoft. It's only Edge browser. So now you don't need that. So any browser you can open Ariba application, which does not require any desktop file. Through the enhanced contract authoring, you can drag and drop to move the files from other your computers to Ariba. Similarly, to download, you will just click on that item, then our import item that will be saved in your desktop in any of the system. You don't need any desktop files is required for contract workspace. Any doubts in contracts? The next topic will be SLP. So can you give me, in SLP, many of the people, they do not know also. It's a straightforward question they will ask you. Can you explain onboarding process? Then you need to say that onboarding process starts with supplier request creation. At this stage, it is also called local vendor. Then the supplier is available only on your system. Then you will send invite to the supplier. Then supplier will access the link, and he will create an account in supplier network. Then becomes supplier is created. Supplier has been onboarded. The next step is supplier registration. Supplier registration is nothing but you can send a questionnaire asking additional details from the vendor. Once he confirms your answers, then supplier is registered in your account also. So then you are having, as soon as he accepts the link, the link is established. When the supplier proposes the requisition, then he will be a registered supplier. Then you are going a qualification. For qualification also, you can do the same set of questionnaires. The next step will be preferring a supplier. At what stages or what areas I can able to qualify him means, then you need to say region level you can qualify, department level you can qualify. The first thing is commodity. It should be the first. Generally, at commodity level, we are going to qualify. Then region level, then department level. Okay. So here I just want to tell, suppose what is the pharma which we have to Sun Pharma. Okay. So Sun Pharma is a vendor. I have tested with him for the chemicals, for medicine, chemicals, not chemicals. I have tested him for medicine, and his medicines are good. So we are a reseller. We are buying items from Sun Pharma. Whatever the requirements have come, so we have qualified him. So whatever the specification which you have asked, all has been working. So then I am qualifying him only for medicine commodity code, not for any other commodity code. At a later stage, Sun Pharma is also providing what I can say, real estate. Okay. They're also into real estate. Your business is also real estate or something like that. Your company also started dealing with brokerage. So buying properties from real estate and selling to the vendor. Now, do you qualify him, Sun Pharma, for real estate? No, you do not qualify him. You have qualified only for the medicine. When you are doing real estate, again, you need to do the Sun Pharma qualification to make sure that he is fit for your business. So that is what we are going to do in qualification. Only for particular commodity which we are qualified, then we are going to enter in the system whatever the item which you have qualified, only for that only. If any other item coming from the vendor that need to be revalidated, make sure that matches your company's requirement and you are going to qualify. Again, suppose you have tested this in particular region. For example, in Andhra, you did this testing. Maybe there is a different formalities in Himachal Pradesh because due to the climate condition, they want the medicines to be available or the medicines can capable of temperatures of lower temperatures. Hotter temperatures are not available in Himachal Pradesh, so it is always in a lower temperature. Whether your medicine with this compatibility or not, you need to do that. In that reason, so you will be qualifying him for particular region also. That is what your Andhra Pradesh region or Himachal Pradesh. So the quality process of verifying him for particular regions may not be necessary that the same will be applied for other regions. Like that, you are going to do for commodity level, region level, and further in Andhra Pradesh also, in some other department only you have qualified, then that is not eligible for entire state, then you can go ahead with the department. So the sub level of your region will be your department. Is it clear? Or any doubts?
It's clear.
Again, you can only prefer the supplier for whom you have qualified. In this scenario, I have qualified him for medicine, then I can only prefer him for a medicine only, not for any other. Before you do this preference, then you have to have this supplier qualified. Where do you import data related to SLP? It's basically in your SM administration, you do this activity. So what is SPM? If you're having an interview on SLP, they will be directly asking because no one knows in detail of this discussion. Even majority of the Ariba interviews will happen. The interviewer is not from a SAP person or Ariba person. Even whatever you tell him, he will also not know. He will be having limited knowledge, which he will be testing you. Majority of the cases, it goes like that only. So then you can say supplier performance is nothing but evaluation of a supplier based on this need to be remembered: scorecard and survey. These two words you need to remember. Scorecard and survey, you need to specifically mention that is what in SPM activity. You are going to prepare your scorecard and you conduct a survey to evaluate the supplier performance. Can I do the supplier performance? How do I do supplier performance? Then you can say that you can send this survey internally to find out feedback on the supplier performance. Then finally, you can discuss with which internal team you will do. You will do with the receiving team to check the quality, and you will also check with finance team for account related and for your quality team to check quality of the supply. So all these things will be evaluated, and maybe there is a supplier risk management team or PROs team where they are going to analyze how the market of that particular feedback and if it is exists. So that is basically for risk related. So how his performance is doing outside market and that you're going to evaluate from basically maybe that is marketing team also. So internally you're going to evaluate his performance and then you do the what is that called follow-on activities. Then I want to give you here in sourcing module 4. Can I add new supplier? Can you tell me awarding scenario? Can you award to multiple suppliers? What is your answer? Can you award to a multiple supplier?
Yes.
Good question. Good answer. Yes, you can award to a multiple supplier. There is no restriction. It is the decision of the buyer. He can award to multiple suppliers. Again, you can also add additional information. It is buyer's decision to whom to give business. Through whatever we are saying, so I'm getting a price from A, B, C, and A is giving a price of 95, B is giving a price of 96, and C is giving a price of 100. But I'm giving business to the B, so his price is not cheaper, but I'm giving 100% of business to B. It could be my decision based on my previous experience. A's quality is not that much. B is having a good quality of item. Just for 1 rupee, I don't want to give the business to this person. Unless there is a huge saving, then I will go with him. For a limited saving, I don't want to take a risk and I will go with B. And you can go that is again, buyer's previous experience decides which supplier he want to perform. It could be any reasons. Maybe the delivery time from B may be quicker and you want that item to be available immediately, then you might be going. or sometime you may also go with C depending upon your location. Sometimes C can supply in a period of 1 week, B says 2 weeks of time, and A says 3 weeks of time. The longer the period, they will give you the reduced price because they can produce. They can have a time to source cheaper raw material, and then they will be able to help you to provide you at a lower cost. So it could be any factor. It is the buyer's decision to whom to give the business. Okay, now let's go to the buying. So can you give buying examples? So then you say are a flow of a buying. So you are going to say all the buying in Ariba starts with PR. It will go for an approval process. Once PR is updated, PO will be created and will be sent to the supplier. This is a simple process. Then the next question will come. Can I create a PO in Ariba? Directly, can I create a PO in Ariba? What would be the answer?
No.
Good answer. It is not possible. It always starts with PR. Even if you want to change PO also, it has to be done and the PR. Even if you are changing PO, basically you are changing the PR. Okay, now buying, can I create a PO? Can I send PO to ECC or MS Dynamics? Can I send PO to ECC or MS Dynamics? MS Dynamics is not a, again, it is an ERP system. Can I send? So I'm having ERP system connected with my buying solution. So when I'm creating a PR in Ariba, can I send a copy of the PO to Ariba, ECC or not? Yes, good. You can send a copy to your ECC system. Again, if your ECC system is the source of document number, then the PO number can also be maintained in number also comes from ECC or a ERP system. You can do that setup. So before it sends to the supplier, it will go to ERP system and fetch the ERP numbers. Your ERP will return the PO number, and that PO number will get updated in Ariba, and the same will be sent to the supplier also. So temporarily, Ariba creates the PO number, which is something similar to EP number. Okay. This is a temporary number, a temporary hold, which Ariba creates. So instead of having that, until the PO number comes from your ERP, it creates a EP number. Then there might be a question. So when I'm creating a PO, my PO number is 4001. When next PO I'm created, 4003. So when I'm searching in, this is little bit broader level. Now, not generally you will be expecting in an interview, but this is as a consultant level I'm saying. Suppose you are having PO 4001 and PO 4003. You go to the search screen and you want to find out 40002 and you are unable to find. What could be the reason? Any idea? Any guess? I have 4001, 4003 available. When I'm searching for 4002 or 40,002, I am unable to find it. So what would be the reason?
It might have created locally in ECC, ERP.
No, not correct. Yeah, that is also one sentence. So you are having, yeah, that is correct. So suppose you are maintaining both in ECC POs and Ariba POs, you are using the same number, right? Yes, in ECC if you are creating, that is a valid answer. Agree. ECC have used it. But I'm using a number agent separately for Ariba POs. I'm selecting Ariba PO type and I'm finding. So there could be a reason is whenever a PR is created, Ariba reserves the number. So when you are creating a PR in Ariba, it reserves the number of 40,002, and this will be generated after PR approval. In this scenario, what happened? The user has deleted this PR. Later, during the approval, someone has mentioned that, hey, we don't require this anymore, or there is already available product. Whatever be the reason, the PR got deleted, then automatically the number also deleted from the system. You will not even find it trace also. Once the PR is deleted, entire history will be removed. System 40,002 has internally the system has captured, even you will not see that information also. So such scenarios will happen. So you will not have a continuity on the PO numbers. And Ariba has a policy that you should not use the same number for different PRs, because it will give you a confusion. At the database level, if 40,000 is allocated for multiple PRs, then that will create a mess. So there could be a scenario you will not find certain PO numbers in Ariba. That is a acceptable behavior only. Don't get confused. So in real-time business scenarios, whenever there is a audit is happening, okay, they do not know about Ariba system or ECC system, and first time they are coming to you, then they will ask you what happened to 40,002. Maybe you're hiding some information, blah blah blah, like that. They will highlight also. Then they will be approaching us as a consultant. They will come to us. So they will say, the user will say, I'm missing this one. Can you find out? So then you can give a reason. Yes, there is a possibility if the Ariba has utilized one PR, later that PR did not process, then that number will not be available. Okay. In buying, that is for additional information. Who manages workflow? So the consultant manages the workflow. Can I create a workflow based on department? They might ask you, suppose I have PR submitted from a procurement department, has to be approved by procurement manager. PR submitted from HR, that has to be approved by a HR manager. PR submitted by a marketing, that has to be approved by a marketing manager. Can we able to achieve this in Ariba? Then yes, can achieve this during approval process using approvable lookup files. You can dynamically bring approvers dynamically through the tables. You can add approvals. Similarly, the same logic will apply for any other thing also, not only for department, maybe region, maybe commodity code, it could be anything, or the value. Between one value to one value, one approval, one value to one value, another approval, like that you can do that. Now the question will come, can I perform GR in ECC for a Ariba field? Again, possible. Yes, you can say you can do that. You can do the configuration to do the receiving in your ECC. Then you can send that receiving information back to Ariba just to update in Ariba to see the history. That is possible. Then they might also ask you, can I now, okay, with this GR, okay, how the two-way or three-way match happens in Ariba? You can do that based on configuration in receiving types. You can do this two-way or three-way match. So at the commodity level, you can maintain at part number level, supplier part number level. You can maintain whether you want to do receiving two-way match or three-way match. What could be the two-way or three-way match? Auto receipt, manual receipt, no receipt. These are all the options are available in your system, where you can select no receipt required for a particular commodity, or for manual request is required for a particular commodity, or auto receipt can be done for a particular commodity. Generally for services, you will perform auto receipt, where we do not any. As soon as the services sheet is released, the supplier can submit again as that, and then that go for an auto receipt. Manual receipt generally to material where you can able to inspect and you can touch and you can feel. You will do that manual receipt. No receipt. Certain cases like electricity bill, gas, and other cases where you don't need any receipt. That is known that it has been consumed. Clear? Any doubts? Let's talk about invoicing. What are all different types of invoices are available in? How many types of invoices I can create? That would be your question. How many types? Or different types of invoices in Ariba. Supported. Then PO based, non-PO based, contract based. Only 3 types only you have in Ariba. You can create an invoice based on PO or a non-PO, which is nothing but you do not have a PO, you're directly posting an invoice in Ariba. Contract based means against a contract which you are posting an invoice. What is the process of invoice in Ariba? Then invoice can be created by a buyer or a finance agent. Most of the companies, invoice option will be given to the finance team. A user from finance, they will able to create a invoice based on a physical copy of the invoice received from the supplier. Or supplier over the network creates an invoice. Then that will come to Ariba P&I. It can also have an approval process. If it is approved, then that invoice will go to the next step. Most of the cases, approval is not needed, just to reflect that invoice in our Ariba application. Whatever the way, the creation part which are cleared, now the next process will be invoice reconciliation. At each stage, invoice will be created. As soon as invoice is created, invoice reconciliation document will be created, which will grow approval process, exceptions, invoice-based exception, like in your 2-way match or 3-way match which you have configured, which is not performed, then you will get an exception. Exception handlers, which is nothing but certain exceptions are coming, who will take a decision? Accept the proposal or refuse. Whatever the case, that decision can be taken on invoice. Once it is done, the next step will be payment, where Ariba sends OK to files to ECC. This step also you need to remember. Like you mentioned here, scorecard and survey, you need to mention OK2 files to ECC, and remittance file from ECC will reflect in B&I and supply network. That means when you send Ariba OK2 files to ECC, once ECC makes the payment, remittance advice files from ECC that will come, and that remittance advice will be reflected in your Ariba B&I and also in the supplier network. The supplier also can see his invoice status. So this is the full process of Ariba procure to pay scenario, P2P scenario. When you're saying P2O, which is nothing but procure to order, yeah.
Ariba BI means what? Business
Sorry?
integration. Ariba BI. BI.
Okay, Ariba BI. So So basically, that is a reporting tool where you want to utilize Ariba data to filter the rules or business data as per your analysis purpose. How much spend and other things. You can integrate Ariba BI. So the data will go from Ariba and that will be available in your BNI. Sorry, BI. Then what is that BI stands for?
Some business integration.
Business intelligence.
No. Yeah, business intelligence. Correct. So then it can filter the reports whatever you want in BI format. You can integrate Ariba BI, but that the all the reports and everything you are going to see in BI only. Only the data comes from Ariba. You can use that using export options configured. You can add the integration whatever it is connected to BI. You can use that, or you can send to ECC. From ECC also you can fetch BI. So I think in BCC ECC you can directly keep the BI integration. Am I correct? For your financial analysis and procurement analysis, if you're using BI, you can directly integrate with the ECC. Then the data can go from Ariba to ECC. From there, you can take the data.
Okay.
So I think this is before you go for an interview, go through this. So this will be it will kind of
Okay to files is what?
here okay to files. OK2 files is nothing but invoice copy sent to your ECC. So the OK2 files contains invoice header, invoice line item details, payment information. I think the bank information also there or not, I'm not sure. So that files can be processed by your ECC for a payment. So whatever the files required for payment processing, that files are clubbed in OK2 file, which Ariba sends to ECC. OK2 pay actually. Do you know OK2 board? OK2 board is generally if you're traveling to a foreign country, if the foreign country has a visa process, then that country need to accept you. So before you go there, in your flight ticket, the immigration department has to put OK2 board. With that OK2 board is available only, then you can only uh, travel. If that is not there, then immigration department will stop you and ask you to get OK to board confirm. Then you need to reach to your not boarding, destination airport or destination agent you need to contact. Then they need to apply OK to board on your flight ticket. Then you can travel. Similarly, OK to pay is to giving an information to the ECC system. Hey, I am good to pay this one because I have done all the reconciliation process in Ariba. Now you are ready to make a payment. The ECC makes the payment and it sends the remittance detail, which will have pay details like check transfer or bank transaction ID or something like that. It's again giving a confirmation that against your OK to file, I have made a payment. So that information will be reflected in ECC side as well as Ariba side and in the network side also. Ariba side means as a buyer, we can see whether the payment has been scheduled or paid or not. In the supplier, against his invoices, he can see whether payment has been received or not. Clear?
Yeah. So will we get any notification?
I think it is possible to have the notification. When integration is successful or something, then you will get a notification. That can be configured, but that is that is configurable. Your payment against the invoice has been processed, something like a notification can go to the supplier. Just want to see whether I can show you OK2 files. Image. I'm not seeing, otherwise you can also see the batch file will be exported, not in the import. Goes for an export. You can see that information in file. Once you export, you will find all those files, grouped files. You see this import remittance data. This will come from your import remittance location data, remittance location, advance payments, supply location. This is the batch. So import remittance data, if you're having, then that file, when it receives from ECC, will get updated here.